All right. Good morning and welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Kelly Benfey. I'm a TA within our Fitness Athlete Division, coming at you live on Fitness Athlete Friday. So for today, our topic for the day is going to be grip on the pull-up bar. Do we use the thumbs? Do we wrap that thumb around, or is it on top? This is a common question we get asked in a lot of our courses in the Fitness Athlete Division, so we'll dive into that in a second. But first, a couple of things in our Fitness Athlete Division on the calendar. This weekend, we're going to be live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So if you're in the area and you can hop in last minute, feel free to do so. But if you need a little bit more of a heads up, the next time you can catch us live will be in Greenville, South Carolina. What's up, Zach? On March 13th and 14th. Other than that, we have the Essential Foundations course starting live again in March, which always sells out, so jump on that soon. And other than that, catch the rest of our courses for the entire Institute of Clinical Excellence on ptonice.com. So, like I mentioned, the topic for today is going to be grip on the pull-up bar for all things gymnastics, toes to bar, pull-ups, muscle-ups, whatever it may be. We get this question asked a lot. How do you grip the bar? Are we gripping with our thumb on top of the bar or around the bar? That's pretty much the debate here that I see a lot. So if you've taken any of our fitness athlete courses, if you've taken the CrossFit Level 1 course, if you've taken the gymnastics course, the answer is all going to be the same. It's going to be, we're going to wrap that thumb around. It's a safer grip. It is a stronger grip. One of my friends took the gymnastics course recently, and this kind of hit home with me as far as how much stronger of a grip it is. You would never, what she said, they said in the course was, you'd never climb a rope with your thumb on top as this. And that made so much sense because obviously, however, why are we still seeing a lot of athletes with that thumb on top of the bar? And then it's a safer grip as well. I'm sure, and if you're paying attention to any of that fitness athlete competitive scene, you've seen maybe those fail videos on Instagram or Facebook where the athlete is doing any type of toes to bar pull-ups and they slip off the bar and land on maybe their back or some awkward position, and hopefully most of the time they're walking away without any injuries, but it does happen. And so with that thumb wrapped around the bar, it increases your awareness, your body awareness. You're much less likely to slip off unexpectedly. And so that's why, obviously, those are two good arguments. It's stronger and it's a much safer grip. That's why we support that thumb wrapped around grip. However, you still see people doing both. From the beginner level to all the way to the elite level, we're still seeing athletes do a little bit of both. I recently did a poll on my Instagram too, just to get a feel for what people around me are doing as well. And it was a 50-50 split. I think it was a 51% preferred that thumb over bar grip. And I will be the first to admit, I myself, for the first 5 years or so of doing CrossFit, preferred that thumb on top of the bar. However, while I'm coaching or working with our fitness athlete division, like telling everyone, oh yeah, you got to do the thumb wrapped around, but I'm different maybe. So recently I changed a little bit of my techniques though. So I wanted to share with you, if you're someone like me who has always preferred that thumb on top of the bar grip, I've changed how I've been doing this and it's been a lot more helpful. So I've been a gymnast I'd competed in gymnastics for about 11 years, and then the first 5 years of CrossFit, I was doing that similar grip. In gymnastics, we're spinning all the way around the bar typically, so it's much more common to have that thumb wrapped around on top, but we also have different gymnastics grips that are much longer and have a dowel at the end, and so it's a little easier to maneuver with that thumb on top of the bar. So when I started CrossFit, that's what I was doing the same thing, and I was decent with gymnastics. However, I felt like, especially with toes to bar, my limiting factor was often grip. So about 5 months ago or so, I lost my pair of grips, and I was that athlete that wouldn't even look at a pull-up bar unless I had grips on, very dependent on those grips. And so I didn't want to buy a new pair because now they're about like $40. And I knew as soon as I bought another pair, the old pair would show up. So I had about 3 to 4 weeks or so with no grips and was forced to figure out really how to hang on to that bar. And while doing that same grip of thumb on top of the bar, I felt like I was slipping down so much. I was having to drop off the bar more frequently. I was having to chalk up a lot more frequently. and it just was inefficient. And so at that same time as when that friend that I mentioned took the gymnastics course, where they were telling her the thumb wrapped around, as I've heard previously as well, was much more recommended. And so I said, okay, let's figure this out maybe and give it a shot. And so the first handful of workouts I used the thumb wrapped around was still not necessarily as comfortable. It took about 4 to 5 times to get more comfortable with it, but I figured out the main difference from what I was doing with that like monkey grip with a thumb on top of the bar to when I would switch to wrap the thumb around. And so it's a lot easier to get our palm all the way on top of the bar when we have the thumb on top of the bar with it. And then when a lot of people will switch to that thumb wrapped around grip, it causes them to slide down, and then the bar sits more in the fingertips, which obviously feels a lot less strong when we have that fingertip grip than that meaty palm over bar grip. So when I was working through that, I was figuring out like this, it still didn't feel more comfortable, but being able to keep that palm over the grip and then add that thumb around was kind of where the aha moment happened for me. That made me realize it definitely was a doable thing. And you obviously need to have the appropriate amount of wrist flexion and thumb mobility to be able to wrap that thumb around while keeping your palm on top of the bar, as well as developing the appropriate amount of grip strength in that forearm to keep your hand from just sliding down into that fingertip grip. But it's kind of similar. I heard Mitch say something in one of the online calls recently that it's like hook grip. We know there's research to show and prove that a hook grip is a stronger grip when it comes to weightlifting, but it's very uncomfortable and a lot of people don't like it at first. It takes a little while to get used to it. And so I think that same idea can kind of apply to that thumb wrapped around grip when we're on the pull-up bar for gymnastics as well. It takes a little bit of time to get used to. The new grips that the sport of CrossFit almost has innovated with a lot of the new companies making grips. The material on those grips are so grippy, for lack of a better term, but they basically glue you right on top of the bar, and so you can get away with a less efficient grip so much easier while using those gymnastics grips on the pull-up bar. And so it may be worth taking a step back from utilizing grips, figure out how to really grip the bar with your own bare hands, limiting how much you're sliding and slipping and keeping that really good palm over bar meaty monkey grip, and then add the grips back into your skills. It's similar to when we back squat. We want to learn how to brace appropriately without requiring a belt. Then we throw in that belt to enhance our technique, to improve our performance. So I think there may be it may be worth taking some time without the grips to really get a feel for how to hold onto the bar without that assistance from a gymnastics grip, that extra material there. And so obviously I could talk about performance in CrossFit all day. That's my favorite thing to do. And so, but we're all here because we're physical therapists, right? And this is relevant for when we're treating these fitness athletes too. So recently I had 2 athletes come in with medial elbow pain with a lot of gripping and pulling movements like rope climbs and pull-ups on the pull-up bar. And I had them hop up onto the pull-up bar and show me how they move on with a strict pull-up, because we needed to identify like what was reproducing their pain. And so they both during their appointments hopped up, did a pull-up, and had their pain. That was their pain that they were coming to me for. And they both used that palm or thumb over bar grip. And so then I had them jump down and I was like, okay, just do me a favor. I just want to see, can you wrap your thumb around the bar this time? Do another pull-up. I want to see how that looks. And they both did that. And they both reported that there was less pain with the pull-up while using that thumb wrapped around the bar grip. So I was like, this is great for buy-in, great for showing them already that I know how to modify and change their pain. But what I think was going on is when we're using that thumb on top of the bar grip, we only are really using the wrist flexor group that all attaches at that medial epicondyle. And so then when we add that thumb into the mix, that flexor pollicis muscle that attaches in the forearm, we add that to the team and all the members have to work a little less. So that was enough to maybe offload a little bit of their pain while they were doing that painful movement. And so during the course of our treatments, we're not only talking about training volume and load management, we're loading that common flexor tendon with a lot of exercises. We're maybe isolating their lats to strengthen their lats a little bit more. And then we're going to coach them through maybe starting to wrap their thumb around, and maybe we initially say like, okay, this is maybe a temporary thing because they might think that's more uncomfortable to perform with, but maybe we're going to coach them through that new grip and see if it sticks, or recommend. I've shared my personal experience with how I've changed my technique as well too, and it's been really helpful. So if you want to be that go-to clinician in your area working with fitness athletes, this is definitely something to play around with yourself. It's a question I get in our fitness athlete courses. It's a question I get on a day-to-day basis with the athletes that I work with. And so now I finally feel like I walk the walk and have gotten on board with that, recommended by many groups, of that thumb wrapped around grip. So let me know any thoughts or experiences you may have with it. I know there are some arguments that the thumb on top of the bar grip is more efficient maybe for bar muscle ups because you're moving around the bar a little bit more. I've heard some differing arguments. So if there are reasons that you find that thumb on top of the bar is more preferred, I'd love to open a discussion surrounding that. But feel free to tag me, leave some comments in the comment box to start that discussion, because I could talk about this stuff all day. Other than that, that's all I have for you this morning on our daily show. We will be back on Monday with more PT on Ice Daily Show, and have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.